If you're wondering whether the Nikon Z-70-200 2.8 lens deserves a spot in your bag, I've got the photos to help you decide. Let's take a quick look, an honest look, at what it can really do. Today we're looking at Nikon's flagship 70-200 2.8 lens for the Z-mount system. It has internal zoom, excellent stabilization, and an image quality that honestly feels more closer like a prime lens, giving you that 70-200 full range, almost like you're using a prime lens, but with one lens. So if you shoot portraits, weddings, events, sports, or just about anything with a Z-mount camera, this lens might let you cover a ton of situations without swapping lenses. In this video, I'm not just going to read specs off a website. I'm going to show you my own photos shot with this lens, and I'll walk you through what it actually looks like. The sharpness, wide open, bokeh, the autofocus behavior. I'll also talk about the downsides, like the weight, the price, so you can decide yourself if this would be a lens that you would like to use. So now let's get started. As we get started here, you'll see all the shooting information over to the left. That's what f2.8 looks like. Another one at 200 millimeter at f2.8. Really nice background bokeh you can see there. These are all from family portrait jobs or weddings that we've shot. I think most of these are family portraits. And we're not always at f2.8. Sometimes it's very bright out. That's at 2.8 at 135 millimeter. Really nice background bokeh. 115 millimeter at 2.8. And then we go to right here, 200 millimeter. The more you zoom in, 2.8, the more the background bokeh looks a little bit better. As we look at the images, what I've done is I've zoomed in on them so they fit the full screen. So many times you might see maybe their head or their feet might be a little bit too close to the top or bottom of the image. That's all from the zooming in so I could get it into the full 4K screen to fit on the TV screen, because I really like seeing the full image covering the screen. That's my off-camera flash there. You're seeing right there. And that's with the off-camera flash. You can see what a rough, windy day it was out there. Many times working on the beach, it's very windy out there. Sometimes the sun is blasting. Sometimes there's hardly any wind at all, and it's super cloudy out. Here's 180 millimeter at 2.8. Really nice background bokeh. And then here, even at f4, you still get very good background bokeh with this lens. 135, 2.8, nice creamy background. f4.5 still has some nice creamy background. Now this was a super bright day, so we're at 6.3. A lot of times you can't always shoot at f2.8 unless you're at a ridiculously high shutter speed. Sometimes you can't even hit that shutter speed depending on what camera you're using. Now here's a fun family photo that we like to sometimes, we call it stacking people on top of each other. I'm at 5.6 here because the deeper the layer of people are, the more you need to raise your f-stop to keep them all in focus at the different ranges that they are behind each other. Here's 5.6, dad holding up the baby in the air, traditional shot we do. Another one at 5.6, 3 layers, got the dad, the mom, and the one child in the background. Now here, when you have them 3 together like this, that's a 2.8. 2.8 here is good as well, because you got mom and dad's face nice and close to each other. And here, when you're zooming quite far back, you can zoom in quite a bit and still keep the in-focus range working, even at a 2.8. We have a lot of fun photographing people on the beach. We've been doing it for a very long time. Like I've mentioned in some other videos, we're at the process of retiring from our photography business now, making these YouTube videos. We have literally thousands and thousands, actually hundreds of thousands of photos from years and years of shooting family portraits and weddings on the beach. It's been a fun, enjoyable business. I hope you're enjoying the video, and I'm going to ask, please subscribe to the channel. We have a lot more videos coming out all the time. And now that I'm going into retirement, this will be my main focus, is making more videos. Right now, I've been covering a lot of different lenses that we've been using. I've got quite a few more videos coming out on other lenses that we've been using. I have so many thousands and thousands of photos from all these different lenses from different systems So I'm making videos on them, and then we'll get into a lot other newer things, even cell phone photography, editing, and more. I see so many people talking online and in chat places and YouTube videos, and there's really so much misinformation on what you need to be in business, what type of lenses you need, what type of camera, full frame versus APS-C, large megapixels versus smaller megapixels. Honestly, you don't need large megapixel cameras. We have been shooting since the 2 megapixels cameras first came out, and we were selling pictures at 3 megapixels. At 6 megapixels, we were printing 16 by 20 prints. When the Nikon D700 came out, and D3, we had them at 12 megapixels. We were printing 24 by 36 prints with heavy cropping with zero problem. The idea that you need these gigantic 50 and 60 megapixel cameras, it's kind of ridiculous. Also, with the advancements of AI that's available now, you can upsize a 6 megapixel image all the way up to a 50 megapixel or larger image if you felt like you needed to, which you really don't for any kind of printing, and have a pretty much lossless image that is actually slightly better than your original image because you could add sharpening within that upscaling that it does. So we're getting close to the end of the photos that I'm going to be showing you today. Here's a nice mom and dad and their little doggy taking them for a little stroll down the beach, which we like to do. There's only a few areas in my area where you can actually have dogs on the beach, and that's if you rent a beach house on your own, then you could have your dog out on the beach. All the main public areas or beach access areas, no dogs are allowed. So anyways, thanks for viewing my photos. I hope you enjoyed them, got something out of this. And this is the Nikon 70-200 2.8 Z-mount lens. So that was some of my photos shot with the Nikon 70-200 2.8 lens on my Z-mount system. First, please like and subscribe to the channel so you can see more videos like this. And let me know down in the comments, is this a lens that you plan on buying in the future? One thing you really need to know is it's a very heavy lens. I started using the lens carrying around a monopod to mount it on. And one thing I really did like about it is the collar on it. You can actually turn the camera from upright to downright, portrait to landscape mode while it's on a monopod because you can loosen the knob and it turns within itself. So for me, that was a big advantage. I used it a lot. I eventually, because of the weight, switched over to using just the 85mm 1.8 lens on most of our portrait sessions. So anyways, leave some comments below. And that was today's video. I hope you got something out of it. And I'll see you next time.